Most employees lose their case before it even begins, not because they were wrong, but because they walk into HR with the wrong language. You say the wrong thing, and all of a sudden you're emotional. You say nothing, and now there's no record that you even spoke up. And that's how the system is designed. I'm Noel, and I spent 30 years in executive HR, and I know all the moves that trip employees so they already lose the game before it even starts. So let's flip the switch. Let's change things up. Here are three, that HR can't ignore. And I'll also let you know why they work. Sentence number one, the documentation frame. What you say is, as a follow-up to our conversation, I informed you of XYZ. That sentence changes everything. Why? Because HR loves informal chats, hallway conversations, quick talks, smiley check-ins. They're all friendly until it's time to deny what they said. When you put it in writing, that conversation is no longer casual. It becomes documented, timestamp. And now they're accountable for what they said or ignored. That sentence turns you from complainer into record keeper. And trust me, HR speaks fluent documentation, so they'll understand that. The second sentence, number two, protected activity flag. Go in straight and say, I'm raising this as a concern about potential discrimination or retaliation. You get that? One sentence, but all it does is puts your entire email chain into perspective, something that they may have overlooked to begin with. It puts your concern out of gossip zone, and all of a sudden it drops it under federal protection. Now it's not just a workplace issue, it's a legal trigger. And the moment you use language like discrimination, retaliation, hostile work environment, HR is now dealing with something that they can't usually bury. Why? Because if they ignore it, they'll be exposed. Then HR will be in the hot seat, not you. And no HR rep wants to be personally liable for that. We always say in HR, never be the last one holding the buck, which means that if we receive information that's important, we're supposed to move it on to the next powers to be or take action. This isn't about being aggressive. It's about being specific. Use the law because that's what it's there for. And number three, sentence number three is accountability lock. What you say is, can you confirm the next steps you'll be taking so I understand the process? You get that? Confirm the next steps so I can understand. So what this does is it puts the liability and the burden back on them. It no longer has you waiting for something that you don't know is going to be processed, is going to exist, if there's going to be follow-up, follow-through, feedback. Telling them this puts the burden and responsibilities back on them. And it's telling them that you're not going away. I'm tracking this. You're going to be held to what you say next. So it's not just me, employee. It's also you, HR, manager, leadership, who needs to make sure you take action. So when you ask for next steps in writing, you force HR to show their hand. If they delay, ignore, or go vague, that silence becomes a part of your record too. Now they're in the spotlight, and you're not just reacting, you're leading the conversation. So look, you don't need a law degree. You don't even need to memorize your entire company's policy handbook manual. All you need is precision. You need a few exact words in writing that can flip that power dynamic and go from being just another name in the queue to someone who understands how the game is played and also win. Because most employees don't lose because they're wrong. Unfortunately, they lose because HR has already had the cards stacked against them. They already got the file. So start here, use them, cut through the noise. That's why you're getting this playbook. So you can play the game knowing how it's played and not rely on them to do the right thing. That's probably never going to come. So I've got something coming that's even deeper. It's called the retaliation risk scan. It spots early warning signs before they hit your record, and they give you the exact steps to protect yourself. I'll drop the wait list below, and you can get on the list before it goes public, because this is big, and I tell you, this is going to change lives. We are changing the game. We are changing the story. When it's live, If you sign up, you'll be the first to get access to it, and you'll see how it ties into the full HR Armor suite. The Insider Vault HR never wanted you to have and never wanted you to see is going to be yours for the taking. We're just getting started, and I'll see you soon.